Okay, welcome everyone to another video. So today, as you can guess probably from the title, it's Zero to Hero Giants, so our humble beginnings. Unfortunately, I cannot actually give you my first Giants team because I don't have 3 water imps anymore. That's how Giants used to be done. You used to have 3 water imps and you practically suicided against the giant and killed him with dots. Immunity shields. Not immunity, invincibility with Neo. I use Neo. And they all had to be 5 star, didn't have 6 or anything. I was using Tessera as my leader, and that was it. Now let's bring out all the bling of Giants. So, my first Giants team. My first sort of unsuccessful, like not very successful Giants team was this one. So I was using this, and I found that I didn't have enough heals, so I used this, and then I started dying. I still died sometimes, not all the time. So I started using this. I actually used this team for a bit. I did. So all of you who think Aman is not very good, etc., no, he's fine. He's very good. I don't have runes on some of these, and some others have like really trashy stuff, so I don't know, should we give it a try? I mean, look at Aman, he's so terrible. He has like world boss runes. I'm not gonna try anything with Aman, but I can give you this team. This is what I started using a bit later, and then a Cases HOH, let's do this one, and then a Cases HOH came along, and a Cases became took Tessera's place, pretty much. And Aman was in place instead of Darien. So when you start off with Giants, they have been nerfed a lot throughout the years. They have their various stuff has gotten the health of the golems and the crystals has been decreased. You know, but this one, obviously with Aman instead of a Cases, is a very good team to start off Giants with. Oops, that's a bit too loud, sorry. Okay, so yeah, it's a very good team to start Giants with. It's relatively easy to make. It's very safe. You have attack break, you have attack speed reduction plus attack speed buff. This, by the way, guys, this is why Shannon is so good. Also why you should probably 6-star Shannon. I know Reddit doesn't like 6-starring Shannon a lot, but honestly, I think I 6-starred my Shannon very early on. Giants becoming the audible thing that you today know it as, and I have zero regrets about it, even though I didn't even farm Giants that much. I farmed it for about a month, then I went into Dragons. Why? Because Shannon, you don't have the runes to afford to not 6-star monsters that early on. I mean, it's hard to rune Shannon to not die. She is very squishy, and 6-starring helps with that. It helps. It increases her HP by about her base HP by about 2.5k or something, 2k. It increases her defense a little bit. I mean, you don't have to put your absolute best runes on her, so that helps a ton. Obviously, with Tessera as he is now, there's no helping that I get this time, right? It's okay if you get 4-minute, even 5-minute Giants runs at the beginning. So Shannon is one. Bernard doesn't have to be 6-star. I never 6-starred my Bernard while I was farming Giant. Never. He is so tanky. He does not care one bit about damage in Giants. Now this was the team I was using for a very long time. I think I switched in Delphoy sometimes in there. I don't know why. I mean, this team works fine. This team works fine. This was the team I used until my Tessera got good enough runes to get back in, because he was dying way too much. So I told you guys I had to abandon the Tessera team and go with Aman. I got the Cases, yada yada yada. Later, this was my team. So we gotta go and I'm gonna go in and show you this team. Why this team is great? You can obviously replace Tessera with a Lucian. You know, this we're talking about like January 2015 right now. So what you can do, you can obviously replace Tesher with a Lucian. You can back then when I started streaming, I was most people didn't even do giants, so I was telling them, guys, if you have any cases, make this team, and then the last one can be anything. It can be any of your fancy nat 5s like Teor, or all those. Teor wasn't that great back then, but he was decent. So like preferably it should be a wind monster. So even a single target, like I've showcased with Sophia, I showcased with Charlotte, Teshar, Lucian, like anything goes in that last spot. It's about the supports and their cases. Also, I actually Devilmon my cases back then because it actually helped so much with her dots helped so much with killing the boss. She practically carried me. Now she doesn't have very good runes, obviously, but back then she had some of my absolute best runes. My cases did. Look at all those buffs. This is how giants used to look like for me. It takes a while, just like back then, because many of these stuff is not very well ruined. Despair on the cases, Despair on Shannon helps with CC. My Bella was swift, not violent yet. My Tesher was fatal, I want to say. I think, yeah, he was fatal. And my Bernard was swift, obviously. This is my longest standing Giants team. Like this is what I farmed Giants for about 2 months in, even after the imps came out. With the exception of Tesher and Aman. But yeah, for the most part, this was it. You see, there's so many good debuffs on the boss. There's almost no reason to worry about damage. He doesn't do anything. Also, the resistance from my cases helps with resisting the defense break sometimes. And yeah, that's it. That's Giants. That's a very, 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 very safe team. Like, it never failed for me. And yeah. And then actually I fed my Orochi, but I started using another team. I started using, let's say a case is Orochi right now. Okay, the Wind Ninja. I started using another team. I was using this, but that's way later on. Way later on when I had. But I was just farming giants once per day, for the daily, like I do now. So it's not much of a difference. I don't like Orochi too much for giants. The reason being, I have Tesha and he kills the boss fast enough, and I don't actually want the boss to get a turn. If the boss gets a turn, I might lose, I might die, because there is no Shannon and no Bernard in my current team, in my normal team. So, I might die if the boss gets a turn. So I don't want him to get a turn. So Orochi is absolutely useless. But I've explained that in my video on Speed Giants, and how Orochi is not actually all he's cracked up to be. So let's put up my previous team. This is basically like the basic Giants team. A Tesser can be anything, doesn't matter. Cases can also be other stuff like Kona, Delphoy, Chasoon. I don't like Chasoon for Giants too much. I think she's very slow, but to hell with it. It can be a lot of things. A lot. And I mean a lot of things. The Cases slot. And the Tesser slot can be any wind DPS, or even Sigmarus. Sigmarus is a very good choice. We are talking about pre-Veromos right now. Veromos can also be a choice. Yeah, like you can run this. Veromos didn't exist back then, so you can do this, or your DPSer. This is probably the most common current Giants team that you should do. I never got to do this because obviously Veromos didn't exist. And you saw my Dragons team like before Veromos existed. So yeah, this is like the basic team most people should have right now, or this one if you don't have a Wind DPS or a Sigmarus. Sigmarus is a very good choice for this. So let's take this contemporary Giants team and try to, you know, improve its speed. How you would, you know, go from 0 to hero. Obviously, runes are important, but it's mostly the DPS runes. It's not that much about the speed. It's not that much about the HP. It's Giants is a DPS check. For those of you familiar with WoW, or I don't know, I suppose other MMOs in raids have DPS checks. This thing is, you know, patchwork. This is patchwork. This is Naxxrama's first boss. This not first boss, but you know, first boss in the construct wing. So that the giants speeding up your giants is totally a DPS check. So how you go about it from there? Honestly, the first replacement in this team would be Veramos. I mean, I would just put another DPS or like a Lucian in for this. Shannon doesn't have to go. And the fancy part here is Bernard has a defense break. Maybe it's not the best defense break, but he does it often enough, especially if he's like 250 speed. He gets a lot of turns compared to the giant. And he also makes your runs still safe-ish because he puts the attack break on. So if you don't have a Galleon, your next move can be this. Where this is like, think of Lucians as X and Y, where X and Y are any win DPS, like any AoE DPSers. It can be Sig, it can be Teor, it probably can't be Zyros, but you know, it can even be, it can be Charlotte, it can be Chow, you know, it can be Arjun, the Wind Vampire, it can be lots of stuff. But this team will also have probably not much trouble killing. I'll actually show, you know, I'll actually do one run. It shouldn't have too much trouble doing this. It's still rather safe. It has a defense buff, glancing, attack break. Multiple sources of glancing if you count the Lucians, but you shouldn't count the Lucians. And it's also relatively fast because of the amp magics. Lucian usually uses his amp magic if it's up, so that makes for a much speedier run most of the time. This stage is probably what will slow down most of you, myself included, because yeah, you know, you kind of need defense break for this, but they're hanging, they're doing it. They did it pretty fast, as you see. Now second Lucian should have his amp magic up. Yep. See how Lucian speeds it up so much. And now, yay, glance. Oh, we didn't glance. Too bad. Now we got a glancing, now we got attack break, so now, you know, even with defense break and defense buff now, we shouldn't have trouble. You see, the giant has been at full attack bar for so long, but because of the Bernard and the Shannon combo, we got 2 turns to its 1 turn while it had full attack bar. And you see 1 minute runs, so much faster. Obviously double Lucians help, right? But even without double Lucians, if you have 1 Lucian or you know, a Lucian, a Sig, and an Arjun, you know, a single target, that's also possible. Maybe you won't get 1 minute runs without Galleon, but you will get very, very fast runs, and should improve on your already existing records. Now, if you do have Galleon, and we have, we said we have this team here. So we have this team, and you do have Galleon. The other route you would go is you take out, yeah, you guessed it, you take out the Bella. It's not that hard to guess. You don't need too much defense break, and then you have your DPSer here, and then Shannon is not bad to stay in for safety. If you're having sort of you know, troubles, Shannon and Bernard, remember, is the ultimate survival combo for giants. It's so good, so strong. It's really a shame to not use it until you're absolutely certain that you're not going to throw away runs and runes. So once you're sure that that you can survive without this little girl, there is a speed team. I actually used this team for a very long time. I don't use it anymore because I just I usually just have it like this, and then I just put I use giants for the daily, so I just put a friends rep in and they do it. But then you see, once you get to this point, you have a choice. You can go Bernard, and you won't get that fast runs. Let's do a run with Bernard so that I can talk over it. So you get Bernard, right? So he's safe. He makes your runs a bit safer. You get way more turns compared to the giant, so it's almost certain that you will kill it and kill it safely. But he doesn't do AoE. He doesn't do single target damage. You know, he doesn't help that. He does enable your other monsters to do that stuff, but he doesn't do it on his own. So it can get a little bit slow because of Bernard. So, or slower, I should say. So you got your Bernard here. Let's let them finish it. Okay. The other way is to take out the Bernard. So take completely every support out of the equation, unless you count Galleon as a support, and then just go, you know, crazy with another DPSer like Sigmarus. You know, generally it depends what you already have inside, right? If you have Tesher and Devolution, yeah, Sigmarus is a good choice. Another Tesher is a good choice. You know, it all depends on what you have. So you see, the runs are okay, but if you have two supports, between the AI issues and stuff, you know, it can be fast, 58 seconds, but, you know, it can be slow too. Let's use, I don't know, let's use Stella, or... I used to use this team for a while with Chow, because Chow made it. I think this was the last time I farmed giants for... I farmed it for about a week. I didn't get anything, so I just left. But, yeah, this is the team I used. I hadn't fully skilled Stella back then, I think, so I didn't choose her, even though I wanted to. Stella is also a good choice for this last slot. Yes, he does usually trigger the giant's counter with one hit, with 1/3 skill, but it's okay. I mean, it's worth it. You get all that nice attack bar reduction, which is very key for giants. A monster that is rather underrated. It is kind of one-dimensional, but I think it's underrated for this capacity, is the Wind Pirate Captain. The Wind Pirate Captain is very, 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 very good for giants. He ensures that the giant just gets no turns, like, no turns for you, sir. Nothing. Go away. And he also, if runed decently, he can do ridiculous damage on the giant, plus defense break, always good. So I do suggest that if you have one, you could, you know, put him in your giants team. It's a novel monster. He's very fun, and he can, if you run him violent, he can definitely be good in Guild Wars as well. So, you know, he's a thing. I've actually used this team as well. It was terrible. Obviously Theo is an option, but Theo just slows down runs. His animations are so slow. Tark, you know, there's loads of stuff you can use here. What I would suggest with giants is, because once you have a basic team down, whatever you do is not gonna influence the speed too much. I would suggest you just go for the safer option. My team right now, as you see it, my hero team is this one. You can see the evolution, right? From the humble beginnings of this, slowly changing. We are recapping right now. Slowly changing into, you know, this, and then this. Oh, oops. And then this. This. You know, it's really nice to see the evolution as you go faster and faster. Honestly, I don't like farming giants at all. I don't farm it. I think it's terrible. But, you know, if you really want to, if your whole teams are geared towards speed, or you have Seara and Libli and you want to rune them fatal, I don't know. You know, it's your choice. This is it. This is Giants. This was Zero to Hero Giants. I hope you enjoyed my journey through this dungeon, and I wish you the best of luck to you in yours. Bye.